Welcome everyone to a there's your problem to a hopefully less violent session of Flames of the Divine. Gregor, if you would please expand upon what happened last time.
Well, we returned to the we returned to the settlement after our last battle. We got some much needed rest, discussed, shared a bunch of theories, and then we had to go back to battle. We fought that big skeleton man. Talos became real big, and luckily, once that battle was concluded, the Black Sun finally came to an end.
Yes. And indeed. One thing you left out is that, also noteworthy is that Talos' brother, Malak, who has been fighting alongside you for most of this little scrap, doesn't seem to be 100% right in the head at the moment. Weird.
Oh, yeah.
So, as the Black Sun goes down and the stars finally come back out, everything just seems to settle. And the entire camp lets out what you can almost hear as a collective sigh of relief. The floor is yours.
Once Talos shrinks back to size and everything's seemed to have relatively gone back to some sort of stability. He sort of just slowly crawls out of the bushes, moves as close to the house to his hut as he can, and he just sort of collapses onto the ground.
Hey, you're right there?
In you know how it is. It's young children need a nap when they get all tuckered out, and Danae actually bends over as if to pick you up in her arms.
I nearly died.
And
I mean, on the bright side, you fought real well. Going all giant like that.
Thank you. Yeah, tell it. Yeah, it's difficult to tell because of all the fur, but you swear he's looking a little pale at the moment.
Yeah, that undead giant sword, you were completely impaled on that thing. It punched right through the sort of layer of molten bronze that serves as your armor at the moment.
How's everyone else? Talos says, clutching where it punctured him.
Danae looks around, looks around. They all seem, honestly, mostly unhurt.
In the distance, you see a vibrating cello under the effect of a haste spell, that she just cannot stop looking around.
And Danae looks over her shoulder. Someday soon, Talos. Someday soon, we both need to learn to do that.
Oh, hey, we gotta get everybody healed up and rested, because we don't know if or when Ladon's gonna strike, especially now that the Black Sun's over.
That is true. And she just actually helps Talos to her feet and helps you to bed. Come on.
But yeah, as as he walks by, he does see what is happening to Silo. He says, "Is it just me, or are there four Silo?"
Hi, 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 hi. Hi, hey, Dallas, how you doing? Are you okay? No, that's a dumb question. No, I don't wait. You should be fine. But no, it's you're alive at least, so that's good. Yeah, I'm gonna go look around. Can't make sure there's no other dead. Thank you. I'll be right back. Thank you, liar.
Eh, 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 Okay, so as lo- so while they're Cesar, not Cesar, Danae is helping Talos to bed. Silo, you next.
Still is really running across the camp at going, I think it's 60 feet per like movement. So she's running. So she's just looking around the entire camp, going as fast as possible.
You make it another 30 seconds, I think, before it wears off,
And
and
then she
then
just
you
collapses.
Yeah, you just collapse completely out of breath.
Ah!
So where are you when that happens?
Oh, just a random spot, but more like the outskirts over here.
We're just gonna have everyone on the floor now.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say that Bay Spirit will have returned to its realm by now.
Ritter's just going to go and grab, like, Silo's leg and just slowly drag her back to the tent. And then just throw her on a bed.
Right. And okay. All right, and so while they're on that, Gregor, I believe you wanted to examine the giant's armor.
Yes, I did. I did want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, as you're looking at this, like the like, it's like, yeah, you thought you saw symbols of Savessa on it, and looking at it now, yeah, that's definitely it. Like, it's older depictions of her, of her from when she, like, back from when she was pictured often more as a lion rather than a dragon, in which would make this very old, which is all, which is also supported by the fact that the armor is made out of bronze. But yeah, in life, it would seem this guy was a Savessa worshiper.
Damn, how did he end up this way? It's a shame.
Well, well, you. Well, I mean, just looking. Well, I mean, just looking at it here, like the giant itself, like you can tell, is long dead. Like this is literally just reanimated remains. Probably, in this, like actually no, you don't actually know. Well, obviously you know about the headwaters. You don't know that there's a giant's graveyard there. You were the one person that wasn't here for that.
Huh.
Yeah, but like you're also looking over the armor, and as you would expect of Savessa worshippers, it's extremely well crafted, although not in great shape now, obviously.
Yeah, this thing's basically an antique by now.
Oh yeah, like it's be great in a museum and not much else. It's like it's not even just that like it's old and kind of rusty. It's like it's made out of bronze. You've got better stuff now.
You've also been like hitting it for the past while. I assume.
Yeah,
Probably.
it's showing some signs of damage from the recent battle as well.
Well, at least it's good to confirm it was the best armor.
Yep.
Figure out like where the hell it came from.
Yeah. So, so, and Adjin like sort of steps into the tent and he says, and he's like, "Well, that went quite well."
What do you want now?
Well, battle's over, so this is the part where we celebrate our victory, right?
Woo.
I don't want any more ale. I'm already too tired.
And ale, like he looks at him, ale, peasant. And he just like crosses over to that bunk that he's been using these past few days. Okay, is there anything else anyone wants to do tonight?
Unless you got something planned, not really.
Okay,
I reckon Malak could probably use some rest too.
that is true. Okay, all right. Well, in that case, you all settle down. In that case, I'm going to say you all settle in for a good night's sleep. The first proper night's sleep you've all probably had in some time. Fast forward to the next morning. What?
Is this a long rest?
This is a long rest, yes.
Epic.
So, in the morning, you learn. In the morning, you all learn the ultimate damage done by the last 3 days. It is 24 dead and about 50 more injured.
Are dead or they're dead?
Those are casualties from the Fireman tribe.
Okay.
Damn it.
We've been
Yeah.
significantly weakened, I would say.
We're not a small pride by any means, but that still is a good size of our warriors.
Yeah, that is you all have the Fireman Pride altogether is about 300 strong.
When I wake up, I want to do fate spitting.
Sure thing. I assume you're scrying again.
Yep, I don't have anything else better to do. It's fun. It's pretty fun.
Okay. Hey, what are you doing with it?
You know who I'm targeting. I'm targeting
Sure
him this
do.
time.
All right. Let me just pull up his stat sheet because I don't actually remember off the top of my head what his wisdom is. Okay. Wisdom. Okay, scrying is a wisdom save, I believe. And your save DC is 15?
Yes.
All right. And well, fate is kind to you today, for he rolled a 3 on the die.
Yeah.
This is this is the same. It's the it's the same. This is the same die that almost killed Talos multiple times these last few sessions. Now it's deciding to go with you.
This guy is racist.
No, the side just likes me more. Difference.
It has a crush on Steeler.
And, and well, in any case, so as you describe how how scrying works exactly for you.
It would be a ghostly, whitish orb. Well, invisible, but whitish if it was seen by color. Kind of like a spirit to a degree.
Okay.
And see a little bit of a sense the area around her.
Okay. So you run into him, and he appears to be in a tent. It looks like one of the tents you saw in the Knoll encampment at the plateau. So it would seem that he's still there. And he's actually sitting down, like basically he's got like a flat rock just lay down on his lap in front of him, and he appears to be writing a letter, or writing he's writing down something. Do you speak Draconic?
Yes.
Ah. Well then. Oh shoot! Did I actually forget to write up that the letter? God damn it! I was meaning to do that. Well. Okay, time for me to improvise. Okay, time for me to improvise. As so. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Give me a moment to think this up. He's like still in the middle of writing it, but you also hear quite a bit of activity. Well, apart from that, you hear quite a bit of activity outside, but not as much as you did when you were infiltrating the place. Like it's quieter now.
Lay it on.
Yeah.
Figured.
And secondly, I will do this as my morning activities too.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and roll. Ooh. Ooh. That's not bad.
And the good rolls today.
All the rolls. I prefer the negative aspect actually.
I guess you could
D6.
say you're on a roll today.
Oh,
All right.
Okay. And okay. So, eventually he shifts a bit, and you're able to see what he's writing. In, to matron, to matron Kalena. I'm. It has been some time since I've heard from you. and I was hoping to call in that old favor. I've been having some issues with pests of late, and it would seem my minions aren't up to the task of dealing with them. And would you please, and if you could say, and I would be much obliged, and I would consider all favors repaid, if you would send, and one of your best crews to help me out. And he signs it, and he signs it. It's simply.
Simply what?
Simply laid on. And which is, well, actually, go ahead and roll a quick history check, Silo.
History.
Okay,
Shit,
yet.
it's
Okay, it's not a detail that really strikes you as unusual. But yeah, it would seem that, he would seem to you that he's writing a letter, or requesting to borrow some people.
Okay.
To a matron Kalena.
Elena. Alrighty. I will end the scrying there then.
All right. So Plateau sounds quieter than Plateau sounds quieter than you remember. And there's a and he's writing a letter to someone named to someone with the title of matron and the name of Kalena. I'll spell it out for you in the.
Thank you. Okay. Wasn't sure if that name was familiar or not.
No, this is not a name you have is totally unfamiliar to you. But there is one other thing that jumps out at you. Well, right before you go, he actually finishes up the letter, and then heads outside, mutters something under his breath, and as he heads outside, you can't get a good look at the Nolan encampment, but it looks like carnage to you. And you see at least one corpse of those same undead giants. It looks like they passed through there as well.
Okay.
And later on, mutters something under his breath, and the letter he wrote folds itself into a paper bird, flies off, headed due straight south, it looks like.
Okay. Matron Kalena. Alright. If there's nothing else of interest, I will end the scrying there.
And that is the extent of what you get.
Okay. Scylla will open her eyes afterwards.
What'd you see?
I got some information at least. Their forces are weakened too. They've been hit.
Does that mean that Ladon was not behind the extra long black sun?
Likely not. Could be an external force, and we just happen to be unlucky or lucky, depending how you view it. he definitely doesn't have the forces to advance on us at the moment.
Well, at least that's
Right.
some respite,
I say that, but he's calling in aid.
of course.
He already sent off a message. He just did, in fact, to Matron Kalina.
Out of the frying pan into the fire, right?
Matron Kalena.
DM, would one of us know who this matron is?
What would the and what would the check for cultural awareness be? Like it's not a name you've heard before, but all of you go ahead and roll intelligence checks.
Ready to keep the 15.
Okay. So
So
15 plus 3.
That'll do it. You had to get well basically above a 15. You've never heard the name Kalena before, but Matron Kalena sounds drow to you.
I will relay this to the others. Sounds like a tree hugger.
Gonna fight plant people?
Yeah.
I
Tree.
said drow.
Yeah. Tree huggers.
I mean, there's such thing as underground trees.
I think she's just being funny, guys.
Oh no,
Yeah, I know.
I grasp that now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not really getting the joke here. I'm sorry.
I'm very sorry. Oh, like I said, I haven't been getting a lot of sleep lately, and my brain thought drow was druid.
Yeah, no, drow as in dark elf.
So that's why, like, it only just registered now that no, drow is dark elves, and I'm sorry. That was just, like I said, I haven't been getting enough sleep, and yeah.
Don't worry
It's okay,
about it, mate.
Lara.
Don't worry, it's alright.
Yeah, I'll just instead Reddy will say, those cave elves, you know, the drow.
Cave elves. Oh. I suppose what little I know of the drow, it shouldn't be too surprising that they're in league with someone who controls necromancy so readily.
Sounds like they'll be a
Haven't
bit
you-
rougher than the nulls, though. Just
Heaven is triggered at the word drow.
like visibly.
Can they see that
I don't
she's
know.
triggered?
I don't know. Can they?
If you roll contested perception versus deception.
If you wish, go ahead.
Alright.
So do we roll
Heaven-
perception now?
Yeah, although I don't think any of you's beating that.
Neither Nat 20 will be at that.
Jesus.
So
Man,
yeah,
you hit it real good.
Heaven looks like Heaven doesn't do anything to draw your attention.
Maybe a minor eye twitch, but nothing. But it could have been the dust. For those high enough.
Yeah, because there are several different factions of dark elves in this world, all nefarious in their own way. Is really so. Knowing that it's probably a drow doesn't actually tell you a whole lot.
Well, if Ladon's calling upon them now, maybe I would be a little concerned, I guess.
I would be. It's one
He's not-
tribe against the entire Underdark, probably, depending on how big their forces are.
You know, Ladon isn't dumb. unfortunately.
Alice, is your people nomadic at all? I suggest moving camp.
Uh, so, just an out of character thing, DM. Is the Firemain Pride nomadic, or have they stayed in one place relatively for like most of their lives?
They occasionally, I mean, they'll shift if camp occasionally, but not really very far. Like this is like you're on a good piece of real estate here, or you stay where you are.
Telos gives a sigh and shakes his head to CeeLo. Unfortunately, we've been here for, well, ever since I was little. We've shifted every now and again, but, well, once you find a piece of land that they can defend properly and that offers good sustainability, it's difficult for anyone to just uproot their lives.
Well, either way, I don't think we don't know how strong the next attack, how bad the next attack will be, and we've already been weakened pretty hard by the Black Sun, so we don't know. I don't know how much more abuse this camp can take.
Well, we're all fighters deep down, but you are right. If we keep taking sustained casualties such as that, then, well, it's only a matter of time before there's a crack, and then eventually, well, the barriers will shatter.
Well, the suggestion is if we move away from the camp and let them know that we're away from the camp. But that's a risk in general.
True. Ladon is specifically targeting us because he wants that deck of cards that you have.
You really think the 5 of us can take him alone?
No.
As we are now, no. But I also worry that he'll capture that he will capture everyone in the Pride as well to use his leverage.
Oh yeah, there are a few people here that he'd probably be after too.
I suppose it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, if I remember the correct saying.
Well, I think probably the least bad choice we have is to stick around in the Pride, because it's probably the best chance we have at survival, and if we all stick together, because I don't even if we leave, he'll probably still come after the Pride to get some things, and then we'd just be taking on an army by ourselves.
He didn't request an army. He requested the best team they all can offer.
I mean,
so he's asking for an elite squad. Well, an elite group.
That's
yeah,
correct.
that's not much better.
A handful of individuals can still bring down an entire settlement if they do it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, you remember that time we dive bombed the temple?
Well, more the element of surprise, but well, regardless, sitting around and speaking about it is not going to do much good for anyone. So I say we let Matron Ziora know it, as well as our guest, and we'll see what plans we can come up with from there.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Because the last thing they need is to be surprised.
Okay. Well. Yeah. So ZR, at least has returned to her own tent at the top of the cliff.
All right. Well, anyone wish to accompany me? Anyone wish to accompany me?
Real quick, how's I'm just wondering, how's Talos' brother holding up? Has he still got amnesia?
Like he cocks his head on his side, like. I mean, feeling hasn't changed, but I also don't feel like I've forgotten. Like, I mean, I feel the same as I did last night, but well, I don't think it's gotten any worse. At least, like, I haven't. It's about the same.
Talos translates. He says it's about the same. He still feels like he's forgotten what he initially did, but it hasn't gotten worse.
Well, at least it hasn't gotten worse, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
well, regardless, we should go and speak with Ziora. So, anyone wish to accompany me?
I'll come.
All right then.
I'll join.
Okay then.
You bringing the whole gang? You want to come, Rudy?
Not really.
All right then. We'll come back and let you know what comes of it.
Rudy would follow anyway.
When he notices that she does, he just kind of gives a smile and goes on. Right, and just kind of expedite things up we go. Good morning, Bundy.
like,
See, you're still standing.
Bundy has got a couple new scars, but doesn't look the worse for wear otherwise. Yeah, Zero would be in the tent.
Ah, right.
And
Matron Ziora.
Hello, Talos. What is it now?
We have some unfortunate news.
And the hunt. And we already have plenty of that. And perhaps a quarter of us dead are injured, and the hunting party is still missing. What else have you got for us?
Talos turns to Silo and he says, Silo, would you like to deliver the news?
Yes. They appear to be gathering a group of elites from the Drow.
Elves? What do elves have to do with him?
I recall us deducing that he's from the Shadowfell. It might be related to the Drow. And perhaps that they owe him a favor.
And maybe, but this is new. This is the first. It's mentioned. This is the first indication we've had that he had allies of any kind.
Well, he did mention that his glaive was a gift of some kind, but well, that could be an entirely innocuous statement.
And well, well, Talos, think back. Go ahead and roll a history check just real fast. Just a detail that you might have noticed. Yeah, no.
Talos just shrugs.
Maybe, but Zero looks back at Silo. If you were able to listen in on him, what are the state? What is the state of his forces?
Completely weakened. They suffer a lot of casualties from what I've seen.
Interesting. And maybe scout and I should probably send scouts to find out. I'm going to send scouts to find out exactly how many casualties.
All I know is that they did fight. I saw from what I was able to see in my scope, a bone giant did accompany them too, as in they also fought and trade blows. It seems they lost a lot more on this side.
And we and on the second day we faced many undead gnolls. The overflow from the attack on the plateau, perhaps.
My main question that is, the ones from the temple that came to us. So, how did they skip past Ladon's forces? Unless they just didn't have anything to attack at the point, or didn't find anything to attack from weakened forces.
One of the. Sorry, go ahead.
These are all very interesting questions, and I would very much like to know the answer to them as well.
One of the gnolls I recognize as being one of the pack leaders we slayed at the temple. So chances are and he seemed to be a vampire of sorts. So if I had to take a guess, it was more perhaps out of a vendetta that they came here instead of attacking Ladon, perhaps recognizing that they were former allies. But as you said, at this point, we're speculating.
She nods.
What do you plan to do with this knowledge? Try and gain more with the scouts?
And perhaps. And this message he sent, and how exactly did he send it?
I assume he used a spell that was able to transfer the paper he written into a bird and it flew out.
Just a small one bird. What? Just one bird flying to its destination. It's not going to be difficult to pick out. Exactly. I mean, exactly what direction did it head in?
It headed south, so it should go past us, actually.
Yeah, well, actually, Silo, why don't you go ahead and roll survival real fast to see if you can figure out the exact bearing. And so, thinking about it, like a little closer, just trying to placement of the sun and all that. it it, uh, so south, also just a little bit west. Like like the you do know this much: the path that it was heading would have taken it to the other side of the river.
If it's going straight on its flight course, which I assume it would because based off the spell, it would probably be heading south a little bit west.
South and just a little bit west. The other side of the river?
My deduction.
Yeah.
The other side of the river, you think?
Hmm. Perhaps we should get some of our best marksmen to look out for any birds coming by and shoot them down.
Indeed.
Why don't we get Adrian to do it?
Because because Adjian is going straight back to the city as soon as I can find a boat.
Right. At least we forget. Yeah, we're trying to well, basically return to sender.
Understandable.
Jamie, he seems like a nice guy.
Rudy's eye twitches.
Oh. You okay, Rudy?
The place is dusty after the battle.
Maybe a little.
A lot of dust in the air today. Well, I guess we should get going, eh? Or at least get the people that are supposed to be going.
Yeah. We should also quickly... Oh, actually, Matron Ziora, how's her guest been doing since the battles?
In she was in she has been deep in thought, from what I can tell. Is meditating out back as before.
Ooh, maybe I can bother her for a fortune. It still like sneaks out. Sneaky, sneaky.
Oh, go ahead and roll stealth. Now to find Bryceus. This sheet. No, that's Bundy's sheet. There's Bryceus. You have do you have advantage on stealth always, or just in the dark?
Oh, forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. Let me check that real quick. Always.
Okay. Okay. In that case, you sneak up on her. She is doing the meditation pose.
I believe Silo's gonna jump out at a meditating prism.
Now, Chaos, that would be really ungraceful and rude of her. She's gonna lean down, however, and like lean next to her ear. It just whispers, "What you doing?"
That's
And,
not
and,
better.
and, and, and she like jolts a bit at that. This is like the first time you've ever seen in her caught off guard, trying to decide the next move with those cards.
Still only gets a cheeky smile at that. Might be best to hide him. And by that opinion, I mean on me.
And while they're in the possession of a person, an undead and the undead monsters within can try to escape. I would prefer not to have that.
So one at a time. I'm sure we can handle it.
Oh, they won't sprout up right next to you. It could be miles away.
That
Perhaps
can't pose a problem.
And perhaps a vampire will show up in the middle of a defenseless village.
Oh, thanks to it, I was able to scry on Laidon, so I'm grateful for the card's power.
I will not deny that they have their uses, but that only makes them more tempting. It's all part of their danger.
What will you do, Briseis? Will you stay here, or will you go?
Until you mean in the long term or right now?
Long term, of course. Right now, it's kind of obvious at this point, is it not?
Long term, I have no. Long term, I can't say I really have many plans. I have, and I've and I was that and I mean I am a nymph, so I can't go very far from the plateau, but well, that really says it all. I can't stay away. I cannot stay away from that plateau is where my true self lies. I cannot stay away from it forever, but if we can find a suitable place to hide the cards, who knows? Maybe I'll go traveling.
The bright idea. However, I'm going to give you an update on what I have seen so far, because it does concern you to a degree. Laidon is calling in allies to attack us.
What kind of ally?
We're talking about the Dark Elf.
And she's going to make a history check that it's going to determine a major part out of this world's world building. So bear with me here.
That's a heavy dice roll, bro.
Yeah.
The weight of those dice.
What the fuck is a dark elf?
Oh.
No.
God damn it.
A drow, per se.
What's a drow? Okay, but what's a drow? I get. Elf isn't elf? No.
You know what Aegean is? Have you seen the guy with the guy was a sniper?
Oh yes, I've seen them, and your companion Rudian. Like they are elves. Like what are these dark elves you're suddenly talking about?
Have you heard the story of the mole people?
That's a natural one. She is not.
Oh my god!
She was in that camp. Yeah, like so now you learn, and she has been shut away in that temple since before the dark elves were a thing in this world.
That's disconcerting.
Oh my god!
That is very disconcerting.
They are, well, I'm seeing by the cluelessness on your face that you have not. Oh, Lord, where did I even start? So, there is a race of people, a big race, a large race, that live on the ground. And as far as I know, that's their extent to their activities. There was a goddess, actually, who was, or looks like a drow to a degree, Vienna.
Huh. So they're what? A bunch of elves just decided to go live underground.
That's where they went to. I think they were shut off from society or something. I haven't really paid attention to much of their culture.
Well, fair. Like, so, uh, so again, like you can just see in her face, she's learning about this from the first time. Is for the first time, and oh, so drow goddess. So this Vienna, what is she like?
It depends who you ask. However, most people nowadays view her as she is the goddess of magic. That's what I was told.
You what, mate?
That's what she's called. Is there something wrong with that?
Artun is the goddess of magic. What the fuck happened while I was shut away? Like, this is the first time you've ever heard her swear, by the way.
I don't remember if I heard of Artoon, so she's just Scylla was just gonna look. Oh yeah, no, Heaven speak of Artoon. Yeah, I did remember Heaven mention Artoon a few times, but I think Virana is the new god.
What happened?
I heard Artoon went missing, or people stopped believing in them. That's what happens to a god, is it not? They gain their powers for belief.
There is a look of horror on Briseus's face. Like, you've like it well, she looks as though you just told a person that their childhood home got bulldozed. Like, you have just told her that the god she has served for alone for for thousands of years is in that temple is just not there anymore.
Oh no.
My god,
Still,
Taylor, you just shattered her worldview.
Crazy how that works.
Well, wouldn't go that. Hey, well, that's perhaps one way to put it, but in any case, well, so my mistress is gone.
Well, you have magic now, and you believe in Artoon, so I wouldn't call her gone.
Well, if she is,
What was
if
that? Oh, sorry.
like no, like Oh no, you didn't. Nothing cut out. She's just trying to find words right now.
Got it. The fact you exist still, and you still have the magic you do, would that not be enough proof that our tune is still around? There is one
When
city
when did
that
when when
what's
did
up?
Artun vanish?
I actually don't know. Most people
I mean,
never heard of our tune
that's
until I met Dream, or I met Heaven. Sorry.
eh, that says a lot on its own. And this Vierna, when did she first appear? And Silo, uh, uh, oh, you're actually not too sure about that either, because there's a lot of conflicting sources there. Like, she started it being worshipped significantly about a century ago, but there are, but like, there's from what you know, which isn't a lot, you're dimly aware that there's a lot of confusion regarding how old she actually is.
How old is Silo, though?
Vierna. Honestly, I'm not too sure. I've seen temples that were being built like a century ago over where I'm from. But there is one city that still believes in our tune very heavily.
Kingdom.
I mean, it's mainly. I mean, the kingdom is mainly a city.
City state then.
Yeah, it is literally that. That is good to hear.
I was just curious to see what your future would hold, Briseus. Thank you for indulging me for a bit.
No problem.
Good luck. And Scylla just chimes as she walks away.
So
You were
that
gone
was
you were gone a while.
Gosh, it was a good talk. I told her about the missing goddess or god. Not really sure. But I told her about that.
got it. Artun is all like Heaven. Artun is like at least in everything you've ever heard about her, she's always depicted as female. Oh right. Oh, Heaven's not here. Well, Heaven's talked about her enough times. Artun is a she.
Oh, okay. I talked to her about the goddess Artun. I didn't know she was a cleric of that. It was neat.
What did you say about the dark elves? Like,
Oh right. Nah, I remember. Don't worry about that, Gregor. She doesn't. She didn't know what a dark elf was.
wait, what?
Yeah, that was the extent of the conversation.
That's disconcerting. Even I know at least a little bit about Drow.
Did you really have to
Well,
be the one to introduce the concept of a dark elf to her?
I asked if she knew what mole people were, and she said no, and I was very disappointed. So I kind of just moved on with the conversation.
That is not the best description of Drow I have heard.
But it's not wrong.
It's still a little concerning that Briseus didn't know about that. I mean,
Well-
how long has she been locked up?
Well, she is a nymph, and well, if we're going off of the last nymph we've met, which was, if I remember correctly, his name was
Orion.
Orion. That was right. Yeah, I know I knew it was something familiar. Sorry.
Oh, you mean the hot guy? Yeah, that was a good guy.
But going off of what Orion, it seems as though nymphs cannot stray too far from from the area that they are tied to. Briseis, she herself must be tied to the temple. I imagine that does not lead to them being very worldly.
Still though, she was literally living under a rock, just complete unaware of an entire race coming into existence.
Wouldn't even call it coming to existence. I would just call it a passage of time. She never explored the world, even back in her time.
And there's also the fact that most of the elves came from overseas.
In the world of mayhem, in this universe, yeah, they've come from overseas, yeah.
Well, I guess we learned a little more about Briseis today.
And I learned
she's
about mole
okay.
people and how people don't know about mole people.
You seem oddly hung up on the mole people thing.
It's such a good reference.
Just let her have this.
If it's a, I'm sorry, if it's a reference in real life, I am not getting it.
It is not.
Okay.
You'd get it if you read more books.
Oof.
Alright, well. Out of character, we got that sorted, so what's our plan of attack now? Shall we just
Shoot some
chill
birds.
for the... Yeah.
We gotta shoot some birds.
Yeah, I'll Talis says I will round up all our bowmen and we'll see what we can do. And Talis will head off to. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say you should. I was gonna say go ahead.
Alright. Well, Talis will go and round up all the Leon and bowmen that he can and explain to them the situation.
And oh. And oh. And okay, like you're not able to get to get a lot of them because like again like many of your hunters and warriors were injured or killed in some capacity, like more injured than killed, but still like most of them aren't exactly in any state for a hunt. Like you do like you so roaming around the area across us the river, like they are of course willing to help, but let me check something because I need to determine what actually in what's actually your survivor roll LDC it will be. Okay, so So, Talos, you are going to be leading a hunting party across the river?
Yeah. Well, just a quick hunting party. I don't want to exclude the other players, so I
Yeah.
will ask if they're coming, if some of them are coming along or not.
I'll come.
Evan is like, I just gotta ask, you know who something about this Kalena person. Then I'll join you.
Very well then. Very well then. All right. So just you and me, Gregor.
Seems like it, unless Rudy or Sela want to come.
Oh no, they seem to be talking about books. And when it comes to books, I'd rather not disturb Rudy.
Yeah,
Evan
seems like
did say she'll.
it's a good
Evan
call.
did say Evan did say that she'll join up as soon as she gets a quick word in from Yashak.
Sorry, I just thought that was her saying she'll stay behind. Sorry.
Just a quick question.
All right, we could probably wait up for Heaven then.
All right. All right, go right ahead. Pay Shishak and ask a question.
Give the Dream Man a call.
Yavin nods and proceeds to mentally ask Ishak her question. Do you know who Kalena is, Ishak? All we got is that she's somehow related to the Drow.
Well, can't say I'm, well... I mean, I can't say I'm too familiar with Drow in general. Like, I have one an associate who is a Drow. I have already pointed you towards her, but that is the extent of it, I am afraid.
For someone who wants to get rid of Yurna, you don't know much about it. You don't know much about Drow.
Well, I know plenty about Drow in general. I am not. I simply do not know this individual you speak of.
All right. I believe you. For now. But if you think of anything, don't be afraid to speak up.
And well, I have been doing some thinking.
Oh?
And it is and she may not. And well, this Kalena, you call her. She may not be a well. If he expects, well, she would have to be some. Just logically speaking, she would have to be someone reasonably close, and reasonably nearby. Since well, otherwise she would never be able to send help in time for anything. So, so, well, whoever they are, they're probably somewhere in the southern region of the continent.
Like, there might be a entrance to the Underdark somewhere?
It's entirely possible.
Well, we're going to be hunting birds or whatever with the rest, with Talos and Gregor. We should probably keep an eye out for any entrances to the Underdark as well. And if Ishak is done, Evan will relay what she heard to Talos and Gregor. So, bad news, no info on Kalina from Ishak. Good news is that, well, I suppose you could call it medium news. It's neither good nor bad. But considering how close this she may be to send aid to Ladon, there might be an entrance to the Underdark nearby.
I do find it curious how this Kalena, she's allied with Ladon, and yet she's somehow gone so far under the radar that nobody seems to know who the hell she is.
Well, on this hunt, we should also keep an eye out for any unusual holes in the ground, so to say. Basically, look for any signs that could lead very well to the Underdark. And if we find one, we come back here, report to the Pride, and gather up our companions and
Ivan?
see what this Kalena's up to.
Well, we'll keep an eye on the holes in the ground, but we have to keep our eyes to the sky as well. Because, well, to be fair, most of the holes we've had to deal with regards to well, in the ground usually are dire ant nests.
Just watch where you step, because I will laugh if you just keep your eye to the sky and just walk straight into a hole.
I do admit that would be really funny.
The Great Rudian Book Club begins. Sorry, I'm just reading.
Indeed. What book will you bring to the club? What's a gun to your head?
uh, I imagine Taos would bring something like survival techniques in you.
If I was playing a different character, I would make the just fireball meme.
Survival for dummies.
That does make sense for Talos.
Right now, Heaven just has the Court of the Immortals and the book about the Gif and Seftia.
Yeah, which you actually, which still hasn't gotten around to reading Court of the Immortals, actually, has she?
I have a total of 20 books so far.
Goddamn woman.
Which is why I rolled a d20.
I was gonna say,
We never actually agreed on what books Rudy grabs, because she's a bookworm. She's just gonna grab whatever she can and knowledge it. So.
It makes for fun reading.
Hey, she's not picky on her books.
She's a walking library.
Not yet, but maybe one day.
I just gotta say, you'd be freaking strong to carry 20 books with you.
Bag of holding.
I was gonna say.
Bag of holding it literally makes carrying heavy shit just inconsequential.
I wish we had one of those in real life.
God, wouldn't that be nice?
We do. It's called a trailer.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
it ain't well enough. Anyway.
Yeah, let's go shoot some birds.
Well then, my intrepid hunters, shall we be on our way?
I hope some of them come near the ground so I have a chance to try out my spear.
So
watch out for the holes.
Okay. So I want you all to roll survival with advantage. It's because you each have another hunter helping you. But, So, Gregor, you, so you're actually the first to see it, Gregor. Like you all spread out a little bit to cover more ground, as it were, like buddy system. And so, because Gregor got the highest one, it flies over the area he's searching, and he does notice it. It is still headed. What appears, at least at your glance, to be mostly south. It of about 200-ish feet in the air.
I see it. It's over that way. Gregor like points towards.
And uh, and okay. And like the Nadra says, go. Go get the others. I'll follow it. And I'll leave a trail for you. I'll leave a trail for you all to follow. And the hunter you're with, it is like, it's actually the woman you met who was at Cesar, who is guarding hurting a and she's basically guarding. She was the one guarding Agian when he came in, and so like, like she like tells you to just go get at the others basically, and she just takes off after it.
All right, so I take it. Gregor rounds us up.
Oh yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear. There were a lot of people talking in the roof.
Okay. Now, please bear with me a bit. I'm actually having to throw together a map as we speak, because this was actually a direction I did not quite anticipate this day going.
Well, that's what DMing's all about, mate.
Speed mapping.
Fortunately, I have a suitable thing off the internet in mind. I just need to get it set up. So Talos, you actually see Gregor like running through the bushes to you.
We found nothing. Did you spot it?
Yes, I saw it going up. What direction did I see it?
Basically to the south, and Cesar said she would leave a clear trail for you all to follow.
I saw it up south. The one with us, they left they're clearing a path for us now.
Cesar? I can usually spot her tracks easily enough, so there shouldn't be an issue. You go. We'll go on ahead. You find. Sorry. You find Heaven and her partner.
All right. Gregor makes his way towards Heaven's path.
Okay, so it's Gregor, Heaven, Cesar, and 2 red shirts. Got it.
I love you describe them as 2 red shirts. Really tips your hand there.
Be disappointed if they don't die.
I actually have. I mean, there's that. I mean, they're a cut above like average commoners say, but I'm calling them red shirts because I don't actually have names for them.
Fair enough. I'm just poking fun at you, little mate. Don't worry.
Yeah. Uh, uh, um, so, oh, okay, so, mm, 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 and, okay, so, let me just, uh, mm, and, okay, so please bear with me. Almost done.
Still speed mapping.
Yeah, I just got. That's, yeah. Okay. One tribal hunter. Okay. Hmm. Tribal hunter red. And tribal hunter blue. Okay, so. So there we go. So you all uh, uh, you all follow the trail for about 10 minutes. It's and eventually you make your way over to here. And Seza in the middle, Seza and her badger companion Kota, uh, uh, in the middle of a clearing, looking around.
Caesar, there you are.
It went down around here.
Got the others, like you said.
So
Good.
So you're able to shoot it down.
And I was I was it and I was just aiming my arrow at it when it suddenly dived. And I did well. It went beneath the trees is in this clearing, and then I lost it. I would have it 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 well if it did go into a hole, that hole must be here.
More than likely, if it dived.
Yeah.
All right, let's start searching, everyone.
Should we split up again?
Okay. These two are okay. These two are going to aim to get into a guarding position so they can be ready to shoot anything that jumps out at you.
Gregor is going to equip his bow.
All right. So, what are you all going to do?
Evan is gonna look around, keep an eye out for the bird and the hole.
Yeah, we'll say. Yeah, I'll say for the time being, Talos is doing the same with his own bow. Keep an eye out for any noises. Stay quiet and heighten your senses.
What do you mean keep an ear out? How
That's
can
what
you
I
see
said.
sound?
Talos just slowly looks to heaven.
Evan just gives her a playful smirk.
You still need to groom my mane, by the way.
Later.
Okay, so. Oh, all right, so
Perception? Or
yeah, all of you go ahead and roll perception. You're all listening. Yeah.
Well, specifically, Talos is keeping his ears open for any, like, chirping, flapping of wings, that sort of thing.
Evan's listening, but she's also looking.
Yeah, Gregor's also listening.
Do we get advantage because of the hunters?
Nope, they are not helping you here.
Dang it.
But you do have a bit of backup in the form of Seiza. Let me just pull up her sheet.
These rolls don't look bad.
Yeah. No, they're not. Oh, absolutely not. They're not very bad at all. There. Well, her roll was not great, but that's fine. And because Gregor, your roll was actually high enough. You don't hear anything that would sound like flapping to you, but with your eyes, as you do notice something. Sort of a rocky outcropping here, right over here, where, like, here's the thing: the ground around you in the dirt is actually quite soft. Like not a lot of not a lot of hard rocks in it, because as like again, this is an environment that sees a ton of rain, so the soil is not too rocky. But there are rocks. There are some rocks jutting out just here, and as you focus your eye, as you can see, it's a very you can see a very well camouflaged cave entrance.
Gregor sort of pokes pokes at the rocks, try to like sort of move one out of the way to sort of try to reveal an entrance.
No, it's all the way down here.
I didn't see the marker where.
Oh, I'm still in GM mode. Oh, sorry. You see it now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As you approach, and yeah, you see like you can see like okay, like it's very well hidden, but you can see that. Yeah, this looks to you like a cave entrance with a rock rolled in front of the door. A large rock.
Hey, Talos. Did you come over here?
He looks to Seiza and Heaven and sort of gestures for them to, keep quiet. He does the same for Gregor, and he takes a look.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. You reckon you could lift this rock? Gregor like gestures towards it.
All right, let's have a look. How big is the rock exactly?
It's roughly man-sized. It's like lifting it would be a challenge, but you would be able you at least would probably be able to roll it if you could get it from the right angle.
All right.
I believe the cave entrance is here, but we just need to figure out a way to get this rock out of the way.
Alright.
Okay, go ahead and roll athletics, Talos. And so, so yeah, like, so you give it a good, like, it's not the most spectacular job in the world, but accurate thing in the world, but you just like give it a good shove, and the boulder just rolls inward, inward, and suddenly starts rolling fast, as in like sort of down a slope. And so it rolls down, and and just standing, not in its way, but like near-ish the entrance, you see two rather surprised-looking drow just staring at the lion men that kicked in their door.
You're like
And
playing
that is
cards.
where we are going to end today's session.
Damn.
Like Evan said, just lion man that kicked in the door. They're just sitting there. They're at a table playing cards, smoking cigars.
All
Yeah.
right.
Something like that.
Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Night.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Y'all.